Yo guys, so today I'll be sharing on Chuan Park and they will start previewing on 19th of October and then the booking date will be on the 2nd of November. So if you find my sharing today useful, you can feel free to reach out to me and then we can discuss further from there. Okay, so just some background for Chuan Park. It's basically an en bloc deal. Because it's an en bloc deal, right? Usually there is higher cost in terms of construction because they have to demolish the previous building, and also this will not fall under the new harmonization ruling. Okay, so the developer of Chuan Park is Kingsford lah. And then over here we have the developer's track record. Based on past experiences, right? Kingsford Water Bay, Hillview Peak, I think they encountered some issues lah. So overall for Normanton Park, they were hit with the no sale license until like later on. So Normanton Park was only sold 2 years prior to the TOP. So as a result, the Normanton Park units actually the standards were there. There was not much issues with this particular development. So I hope the developers Kingsford will learn from their lesson lah. From what I see, Chuan Park should also replicate what Normanton Park has as well. So some site information. Basically, this is a 400,000 square feet land and it has a total of 5 blocks. Total number of units is 916. So looking over here, we have the site plan of the development at Chuan Park. We are very close to Lorong Chuan MRT. Basically, exit B and exit A, right? They are less than 2 minutes walk away respectively. And then we also have the vehicle exit over here. We have a side gate that you can go to coffee shops, other blocks nearby, the HDB that side. So in terms of connectivity and convenience, this area definitely ticks a lot of boxes. And over here we can see the locality of Chuan Park being beside Lorong Chuan MRT. We are one stop away from Serangoon, which you have next, and then one stop away from Bishan, which you have Junction 8, and as well as a 5-minute drive away from Serangoon Gardens as well over here. So really very convenient and at the heart of every major food market and shopping mall nearby. So right now Chuan Park, we are in the radius of 5 primary schools. Do take note that not every block is within the 1 km radius of, let's say, Kong Chuan Presbyterian Primary School. Only blocks 242, 244 and 250 is within the 1 km radius. So if you are aiming for that particular school, do take note that because this is a mega development, right? The site area is so huge that only part of the blocks are included in the 1 km. Okay, so right now we discuss whether a mega project, right, is good objectively or no. Because some people feel like, wow, mega project, isn't it like very crowded, a lot of people, maybe the swimming pool will be flooded with kids, the building will be facing each other, and then when you go out for work in the morning, won't the jam be bad getting out of the condominiums? We look at the past cycles mega projects, over 900 units. So you can see over here we have park amenities. So you look at the land size, 633k, 1,400 units, and it's TOP 2023. So the profits that they made are over here. Of course, it's ranging from the 4 bedrooms all the way to the 3 bedrooms. We are looking at from the highest profit of 843,000 and even 492k at the bottom. Second project, Flores Residences, 1,400 units, almost 400,000 square feet in terms of land. And they're also looking at a profit from 600 plus k to 300 plus k, depending on the unit size. And the third one, we have Affinity at Serangoon, 1,000 units, 300,000 square feet land. So the profit margin we're looking at is 460k to the range of around 300,000. And last but not least, we have Treasure at Tampines. So this one is one of the biggest projects in Singapore, 700,000 square feet of land, and then we have 2,200 units. So the profits range from 900k to around 400k. So of course, not saying Chuan Park has a very high chance to replicate this level of profits as well, but I would say because of the number of units the developer has to sell, right, they need to price the launch prices sensitively. Because if the developer has 900 units to sell, right, they at least need to sell the first maybe 30% at a lower rate, so that a lower price, so that the consumers will be more willing to purchase the unit. And then once the number of units or percentage gets sold increases over time, right, the developer will slowly increase price as well. But if at the start they don't have a good amount of sales, the developers might not be able to get the loan disbursement from the bank because they do have quota they need to meet in order for the banks to disperse out the loan. So of course, in mega developments like this, there will be opportunities for the developers to stage up the pricing over time. Because I would say in this mega project, 900 plus units, it will probably still take 3 years to maybe 4 years to fully sell out, because there will be bigger 5-bedroom units over here as well. Okay, so over here we have the artist's impression of the overall project. I think it's going to look very beautiful, especially with the amount of space they have dedicated to the landscaping itself. Alright, so over here we have the site plan as well as the unit mix for the development itself. So you can see the 2 beds they are 44% of the development, so almost half because they don't have 1 million over here, and they are demarcated as blue color over here and over here. So you can see the developers, they do for the 2 bedders, right, majority of them are facing inwards towards the swimming pool side. Then next up we have the 3 bedrooms. So there's quite a few layouts for the 3 bedders and basically they are taking up 47% of the development. So you can see this whole Chuan Park, right, is almost half is 2 bedders, half is 3 bedders. And of course the smaller portion will be the 4 bedders and then the 5 bedders. So it's quite interesting how the developers actually put the 4 bedrooms and 5 bedrooms, because you see over here, this is the 5 bedroom. So later you can see the facing of the 5 bedroom, and then the 4 bedroom is facing inwards. Yeah, and those in yellow color, they are the 3 bedrooms, which they are taking all the corners. Okay, so over here we have the unit distribution for Chuan Park itself. So I think I want to cover something that you can use on the actual day for balloting itself. Alright. So imagine we take this block 244. The developers, right, they will very likely they will price maybe from first floor to 5th floor, it will be 20k. It will be 20k jump per floor. But then after that, once they hit from 6 to 7, right, they might increase this by maybe say 40k lah. So when they increase this by 40k, then every floor, right, until maybe 12, it will still be by 20k. Then after that, maybe when you hit like 13 to 14, this one will be another maybe 30k jump. Then after that, it will be still 20k jumps until maybe 19 to 20, there will be another 30k jump. Then followed by all 20k again. So this is how a developer would usually price their developments by per floor jump. This is maybe, for example, the 3 bedrooms kind of quantum lah. So you have this kind of price jump per floor. So for my clients, right, if let's say you really don't have a preference as to where you want to enter which floor, right, usually, right, I will ask you to go and get those units that is right before the price jump, which is over here. So let's say if the price jump is between 6 to 7 floor, right, I will advise you to get the 6th floor one, because that is where the next owner paying almost a 40k jump before you. So it will make your price gap a little bit more. After all, if you are investing or buying for own stay, you want to have that safety buffer as much as possible. Let's say we take the landed view, for example. If you want the landed view, right, minimally you will need like 4th to 5th floor to barely clear off the landed view. So when you hit the 4th to 5th floor, right, I'm quite sure the price jump, it could be something like in the 40k. So 6th floor onwards, right, it will be 20k per jump again. But from the 5th to 6th, it will be like 40k jump, something like this. The developer also know how to price their views accordingly one. So you need to have a very clear strategy when you enter a particular stack. Hey, this is something that I need to look out for. And if you are not sure about this and you need more advice, I can fill you in on how I actually guide my clients to make the purchase a safe one. Okay, so over here we have the site plan. So I think with the amount of landscaping, right, we see we have quite a few swimming pools over here, and we only have 5 blocks of building, and we have a tennis court over here. So I think the landscaping is done really well. And you can see the way the developer actually designed all the towers, right, they actually are not facing each other. So for a lot of the units, right, they don't really face the other blocks. And you see, let's say the blocks facing inwards, right, the distance is still quite far away. So you can still see the other block, but the buffer is quite far. Yeah, so it's going to be quite difficult to actually see into your neighbor. And also something to take note, right, this one is just a little bit more on the developer's pricing strategy already. So over here, if they are facing the swimming pool, so you can see over here, this is the entire Chuan Park lot. So when I look at this entire plan, right, very likely those blocks facing towards Spring Bloom is quite a high-rise development. So very likely those stacks are the worst stacks in a sense. Then followed by we have the inward pool facing ones, and then we have the landed facing ones. So I think the developers, they will price it in this order. So the most expensive one being the landed facing, followed by pool facing, and then we have the Spring Bloom facing. So very likely, maybe if they price it in a sense, pool facing, maybe we are looking at, so for example, we have the ranking of the facings already, right? Then maybe landed facing will be 5% more in terms of PSF as compared to the pool facing one. And then to pool facing compared to Spring Bloom, maybe it will be an additional 3% lah. Then when we compare the landed facing to the Spring Bloom facing, maybe we are looking at an estimate of 10%. This is just purely for a scenario that I'm trying to explain. So you see, right, the smallest price gap from this exercise is the pool facing and the Spring Bloom one. So if today your budget permits, I actually will recommend you to go for the pool facing one, since it's just a 3% premium compared to the Spring Bloom facing. Because I think the Spring Bloom one, the view is going to be quite broad, yeah, especially if you're mid-floor downwards. So ideally you want to have a slightly better facing, but you don't want to overpay for it as well. Whereas you see for the pool facing, it will be 5%, in the landed facing, it will be 5% more expensive than the pool facing. So maybe it's not that worthwhile to go for the landed facing because it's already looking at the 5% premium. But if it's pool facing over Spring Bloom, you are just paying an additional 3%. Then now we look at, if you don't have the pool facing units anymore, but then you are looking at either the landed or the Spring Bloom facing, and then the premium for the landed is 10% over Spring Bloom one, right? You are looking to flip in the future. I would recommend you to go for the Spring Bloom one, because looking at 10% price gap, if the layout is exactly the same, why not just go for the Spring Bloom one? Because let's say if it's a 1000 square feet unit, you'll be saving on almost 250k for the exact same layout. So I think these are some considerations you would need to know if you are going to the actual launch day. You need to compare the different facing and which one has the least premium. Then I would say that is something that you should go for. Okay, so you can see over here, right? Over here is the former Chuan Park. Then right over here, we have Spring Bloom. So you can see Spring Bloom, the height is going to be a pretty tall condominium. And then, of course, there is the HDB on this side. And we have Golden Hill Park. So the most unblocked view definitely will be towards the landed side. That's why I say very likely the landed side will have those premium in terms of pricing. But if you are someone that they're okay, don't need the landed facing, because landed facing does have its cons as well, because it's facing towards the main road, so it's going to be quite noisy. So if you are a low floor unit facing the landed side, I don't think it's that worth it, because you're going to get a lot of noise and your view is still going to be quite partially blocked by the landed and the road as well. Okay, so today, right, I'll be just doing the 3-bedroom analysis for Chuan Park. So I'll be comparing this to the nearby resale Scala, and why I chose Scala is because it's going to be the newest resale over there and of decent size. Yeah, so without further ado, let's dive into it. So for the 3-bedrooms, right, we are looking from 914 square feet all the way to 1227 square feet. So I think it's quite standard. For the 3-bedroom compact, right, they don't have the household shelter and the third toilet, yeah, utility room. It's quite standard. Overall, it's quite good. Yeah, it's quite standard, decent layout. And the 1227, the show flat unit. Over here, the living room and dining area is slightly bigger. And then we have a household shelter. Kitchen is bigger, and we have the third WC over here. And when you compare the 1227 to the 914 square feet unit, right, the master bedroom, they have this walk-in wardrobe, L shape. Whereas if you look at the smaller one, it's just a smaller wardrobe space. And then we have quite a few 3-bedroom layouts. We got 936. So 936 one also quite similar. 957. 957, they will start to have an additional household shelter already. So do keep in mind why I mentioned about the 3-bedroom layouts, and I mentioned the household shelter as well as the third toilet. Then we look at Chuan Park, the other 3-bedroom layouts, 1022 square feet, 1033 square feet. So here you got the household shelter, a third toilet. Kitchen size is quite standard, household shelter, third toilet. And of course, there is some slight configuration. So you see when we compare between these two, right, if your budget is okay, I would recommend you to go for this 1033 square feet unit, because you see in terms of the layout, it's more efficient. For this 1022 one, the kitchen, right, is right. You take out this space, it's a dead space. But you see over here, the dead space is quite minimal. Whereas you got one big piece as your living dining area. Whereas this part is slightly smaller, and the entrance is the kitchen entrance is over here. So it's going to be a little bit less efficient as compared to the 1033 square feet unit. And then the remaining Chuan Park 3-bedders, 1205 square feet and 1205 square feet. So the layout will be slightly different for each of them. So you see, household shelter at the entrance. Then this one is a storeroom, and then there's a WC here, and there's a WC here also. So over here, we look at Scala's floor plan. So I'm only looking at the Scala units that is above 1000 square feet units for a fair comparison. Okay, so you can see over here, their layout actually is quite good. Got a third toilet, yard, and then the household shelter as well. And you can see there is not much wasted space in this entire layout. It's very, very efficient for 1044 square feet unit. And we have the balcony over here. Balcony is slightly bigger than the Chuan Park one. But I would say overall, right, in terms of layout, Scala won't really lose to Chuan Park already. Alright, and this is their other layout, 1033 square feet. So over here, quite standard also, really very good layout. WC, yard, household shelter, balcony over here, dining, living one piece, and they don't have much wasted space. And the last one, also a 1044 square unit, quite similar in terms of layout. So based on our research, right, actually the last launch in Lorong Chuan area, it's been 13 years ago. So actually there's quite a bit of pent-up demand, and I will share further with my research later on with the resale example at Scala. Then you can see from there how I analyze the particular demand and supply in the area itself. Okay, so over here I've collated the 3-bedroom supply within a 500-meter radius of Chuan Park. So you can see over here the summary. Coverage bedroom supply, we are looking at 957 over here, and then Chuan Park is going to introduce 431 3-bedrooms, and then we are looking at a total of 1388 units. So I think at this point you'll be asking me, hey, then it's going to introduce almost an additional 50% of the supply in this entire Lorong Chuan area. Does it mean that the supply is going to be oversupply, or we are looking at still undersupply situation? Okay, so this is Scala, the closest resale we have towards Chuan Park, and TOP in 2013, and it's 99 years, and we're looking at 468 units, and the land size is actually about 150k. So I think it's a very good gauge of the Chuan Park's demand over there for the 3-bedrooms. So you see in terms of the site plan for Scala, they have a decent sized swimming pool, and then we have tennis court over here. And you can see, right, actually the developer designed this entire Scala development very well. The units, they are facing like this, facing outwards, facing inwards. It's like they don't look directly into each other's units other than the two furthest blocks, which is across the entire 50-meter lap pool. So I think overall in terms of site plan, the Scala doesn't lose to Chuan Park. It's just that maybe the amount of amenities will lose, because here we have 5 blocks, else Chuan Park also 5 blocks, but the land size for Chuan Park is definitely much bigger as compared to Scala itself. So you can see over here, we have the Scala's unit breakdown. We just focus on the 3 bedrooms over here. We are looking at a total of 128 units out of the 400 plus units they have over here. And you can see for the past 2 years, right, actually there's only been 4 transactions for the 3 bedrooms. Is this a call for concern, or is it actually the demand? Does it mean the demand is low, or does it mean the demand is the supply is low? So we will find out. So you can see the latest transaction for this 1044 unit, they purchased in 2018, then at 1.5 million, they just sold this year May 2024, and they profited about 288,000, selling at 1.7k PSF. So you can see over here, basically the Scala listings for sale, right? There is only a few units, because this one, they're all duplicates. So you see there's only a total of 3 units on sale over here at Scala, and these are all the smaller size bedrooms. But you see previously, right, I mentioned these are the 1044 square feet units. So you see just now, based on the layouts for the 1044, they have the household shelter, they have the yard, which is the yard or the third toilet. So I think when you already can tell, right, what is the buying pattern for the buyers over here, they want something, a 3 bedroom, but is still able to have the household shelter and also the third toilet, maybe for the helper. But you see over here, the units that is still available at Scala, there is only, these are all the 3 bedroom compact, and some of them is even 2 plus study. So they definitely don't match what the family requirement needs over here. So definitely if you are looking to even buy a unit look, we don't even talk about Chuan Park, we can talk about Scala, right? A safer purchase will be the 1044 square feet unit over these 900 plus square feet ones. Yeah. But at the same time, you have to take note that the asking prices is quite high. You see, we are looking at almost 2.1k PSF, 2k PSF, 1.8k PSF, and the last transacted for the 3 bedrooms, it is only at 1.7k PSF. So honestly today, if you're able to find a 3 bedroom at Scala, right, that is maybe in the 2008, 2009 range PSF. Actually, I would think that if you like Chuan Park so much as the location itself, right, actually you can consider Scala. I'm not saying that you buy Chuan Park sure make money, but if you are confident that Chuan Park is able to appreciate over time, right, very likely Scala is also able to benefit from its price appreciation, because the Chuan Park, if people cannot afford Chuan Park but they still like the Lorong Chuan area, no choice, they will still go for Scala because it will be looking cheap already. Then you see, right, if let's say today Chuan Park we are launching at maybe 2.6 PSF. So let's say today Chuan Park we are launching at 2.6 PSF, right? Then let's say you give it a 4 years time frame, then it reaches to 2.9k PSF, and this will be in maybe 2028. So when we look at the present date, right, 2024 for Scala at 1.9k PSF, then we fast forward maybe 4 years, 2028 as well, right? Actually, it's going to be also quite easy to exit Scala at $2,200 per square feet. Yes, of course, Scala is going to be like almost 15 years old by the time we reach 2028, but for the same size unit, we are looking at almost a $700 per square feet difference. So if for a 3-bedder, we are looking at 700,000 difference. I would say for RCR area, because this is still 4 years into the future, if we want to look at almost a $3 million price tag for a 3-bedroom, it's a bit scary to think about that now. But if you think about what Scala will be like in 2028 at 2.2k PSF, actually, it does make sense also to enter Scala at today's, if you can find a unit that is this size and 1.9k PSF. Yeah, so there's a few considerations. First is the unit size must be what typically the buyers here are looking out for. So I'm not saying that the units for Chuan Park below 1,000 square feet one cannot buy. You still can buy, but you need to know who are the buyers here and what is their preference if you are looking to exit in the future. Of course, if you feel like, the smaller 900 plus square feet 3 bedrooms at Chuan Park, and then you compare to the 1,000 square feet unit at Chuan Park, right, that is a price gap of almost $2,500 per square feet, right? So the 100 square feet difference will result in 250k difference. So if the 200k 50 difference is too much for you, then the 900 plus square feet one might be the next best purchase for you already. But do bear in mind, right now I'm sharing with you is what the buyers here they prefer. So not saying that the 900 plus square feet one will make money, but it might make less than the 1,000 square feet onwards one. And another thing I'll point out is that actually, right here I've also established buying for resale strategy. Another point I want to put out is that you see over here, I've also analyzed, right, because Chuan Park is very likely to appreciate over time, Scala will benefit as well. So if you're able to find a unit and your budget is a bit tight, right, and you can't get Chuan Park, but you want to invest in this Lorong Chuan area, actually if you can find a unit that at Scala and good entry price, go ahead, don't have to hesitate already, because the asking prices here, the owners they are very likely going to follow what the Chuan Park is, but of course there will be some buffer . Yeah, so overall I would say the supply at this entire Lorong Chuan area is very low, because you see we have a total of 3 units over here on sale, plus these 4 transacted, right? So we have a total of 7 units, and just now we had 128 units at Scala. Means a lot of the buyers in Lorong Chuan area, maybe they have the schools nearby, or that they are not willing to move out one. That's why here the low transaction volume is the result of low supply. It's not because of low demand. Okay, so we look at this is the Chuan Park estimated break even. We are looking at 2229 PSF, right? The math works out to be, if the developers are selling at a 10% profit, it will be looking 2451 PSF, 15% profit 2563 PSF, and 20% profit will be looking at 2674 PSF. So very likely I feel that the lower floor units will be looking at the 24 PSF range, and then maybe the mid floor 25s, and higher floor will be 26, or maybe is the landed facing side. So these are my estimates, because it's a bigger development, right? I don't think the developer is able to price it too high. If not, they might not move their units in time. Alright, so that concludes my sharing for Chuan Park itself and my overview. So you see today, right, if you are looking to buy Chuan Park, but maybe your budget cannot hit Chuan Park, right? Actually you can still consider Scala if there's a good deal coming up, So this is studying the resale nearby. But of course, the cost when it comes to financing a resale is different from financing a new launch, because the monthly installments for new launch is progressive, whereas for resale you straight away are hit by the maximum monthly installment. So there will be different strategies depending on how you want to play it. And for Chuan Park, I'm estimating the PSF range. I think average it should be in the 2.5. So if you see anything in the 2.3 range, it's really a no-brainer already, because that, let's say you see A at BT, which is near Beauty World RCR area, they already transacted average of 2.7k PSF, and we have this Woodlands South Norwood brand, they are already starting from 1009 PSF onwards also. So when you look at the locality, when you look at Chuan Park itself, right, the product is going to be quite different from the rest, and is central location, one stop away from Bishan and one stop away from Serangoon, and 2 huge shopping malls, as well as it's a mega development. Definitely, I think it's something quite exciting. That's why a lot of people I know, they are waiting for this development. And the preview will start of 19th October this month, and then the launch will be 2nd of November. So right now, if you are looking even at the 2-bedders, 3-bedders, 4-bedders, 5-bedders, and then you want an analysis of the Lorong Chuan area itself, right, feel free to let me know, because I'm already doing this for some of my clients, and I'm be more than glad to share with you guys as well. And if you want to go for a preview with me, you can also drop me a WhatsApp, and yeah, that's it. Bye.